Hey guys, so I got an HPA gun to do a video on. So this was sent out of North Carolina, and it is a fusion engine. I'm just going to start from the back, go to the front, and we'll get into specs and everything. So on the back, it is using I believe it's just a PTS CTR. It says Magpul Industries. It might be a real one, but it does fit on the buffer tube pretty good. There's a little bit of wobble, but kind of normal. Really kind of normal. Metal buffer tube. This is a VFC 416, so no cheapy cheap. It's arguably top tier 416. Trademarks, of course, all over the thing. Markings. The selector switch was very loose, so I tightened it, and it's actually a little too tight, but it's going to stay in position. It'll loosen up over time. I shortened the trigger pull. It is the stock trigger, because the trigger that he included didn't fit the fusion engine. It was one of the HPA ones. They make a couple different versions, and some of them don't like the fusion engines. The way that the fusion engines install, the axle is too thick, so it probably would have worked on a jack or a F1 build where you're using an existing AEG gearbox. But with the fusion engine, that hole for the trigger is tighter, so the trigger literally wouldn't move at all if I used it. So I used the stock one and just shortened it. The rail on here is the standard quad rail from, H&K. I like it. It's kind of sharp, but it's nice. It's a very nice, and it's a very light gun, especially when it's HPA now. There's no motor in there, so it is a light as heck gun. It has a sweet flash hider on the front. It looks like it has KAC markings too. It says BCE. I don't know what that is. Very nice muzzle brake though. Reminds me of the Troy style, if I'm not mistaken. Those are in the Magpul Battle Comp too, like a short version of that, or KAC styles. There is a Magpul AFG on the front as well, and then Magpul sights. These are probably copies from the looks of them, but they look pretty good copies. Decent. Probably paid 15, maybe 20 bucks for them. Inside the engine itself, I think it's the newest gen of version 3, obviously version 2 and an M4. It has this amped airsoft line. I think this is just an IGL, but it looks it was bent, so it probably was sitting in a box for a long time, because the guy did get this engine used. It has a red M4 nozzle, a stock poppet, a QEV valve, actual QEV, not an S2 banjo. I had bought one from a guy and used it in here. Love the S2 banjos, and they don't make them anymore, so they're rare, and they're so awesome. I like them a little bit more than the S2 banjos, but can't find the QEVs anymore. For the hop-up, it has a Max gold or like yellow color version. It has a Prometheus purple bucking and a Prometheus tight bore steel barrel. I believe it's a 603 inner, if I'm not mistaken. Shoots pretty good. It is a brand new bucking, so it might have some break-in, but it's been shooting pretty dang good. I tuned it for 35 rounds a second. This is shooting a little hot in terms of FPS, because he sent me a blue nozzle. He said, oh, it comes with a blue nozzle. I was like, okay, that's what I'll use. But the blue nozzle was an SR25 one, because that's what came in the engine when he bought it. So then it came with a red M4 nozzle. So I used that, and it shoots a little hot. So at 70 PSI, it's getting 1.5 joules with 0.3s, which you're saying, most of you are, oh, that's within the limit. Yeah, most outdoor fields allow that, and I think he plays at most outdoor fields. But I think he was requesting like 360, which was a good idea for a 40 RPS, setup. But 1.5, even at 35, is pretty high. Normally, if I'm shooting 1.5 or higher with HPA, it's 30 and below. So for magazines, I have an Azimuth high cap with 0.3s and 2 Vietnam style magazines. These are Mag brand. Those are 0.3s. These hold about 120, but I just load them to 100. So this is my first time out here shooting this, so I'm just going to kind of get to shooting here. Got a little bit of an overhop right now. Again, I'm sure the bucking's got to break in. I mean, it'll go as fast as you can get it. In terms of the pull, it's pretty short, but shooting great. Let's try a little full auto. Ooh. Ooh. So as you can see there, about 35 RPS. It's just ringing them in there. So it's hitting with some decent authority. 1.35 is perfect, I would say, for like 35, 40 RPS out of an HPA gun. Because, I mean, with .3s, that's still a decent joules. Like, I shoot 45 out of my highest RPS V12, but I'm shooting 1.25 joules with 2.5, so it's lower than this. Alright, let's see how this mid-cap runs. These are... I mean, this is just consistent as all heck, dude. Range-wise, 220 feet, I would say. 240. I kid you not. That it's overhopped. Let me actually turn the hop up down a little bit. Alright, let's try to get some full auto on that metal thing. And for outdoor play, this is good. With .3s, 365 with a .2, he'll be able to punch through brush pretty decently. That's what some people don't understand. Why do you need that rate of fire? Well, because out there in the woods, it's getting there to summer. It's still kind of fall. It still feels cold out here. It's like 45 degrees. It kind of sucks. But the brush is coming back, and you can just see, like, when I shoot into the brush, these BBs are going pretty deep, and they will hit people. So that's also the point of a higher rate of fire like that. Not necessarily high FPS. Some people like to do the high FPS so they can cut through brush like with snipers. But it's also useful for that higher rate of fire. Alright, well that's pretty much it. As far as efficiency, I mean, you can hear it's pretty dang efficient with that QEV. It is the stock poppet, but we're only running 70 PSI, so it's got low output in general. Let me check here. I think I had 1500 PSI, or I had 2000. We're at about 1400, just below 1500. So that's about 600 PSI with 3 high caps I shot through this whole video. That's really good. That's actually pretty impressive. That's better than I thought it would be. And that's only with the QEV. So, for the end of this video, I think it's shooting great. I would recommend him to get the blue nozzle just in case, especially if he wants to play indoor. If he goes to a field that allows 350, with this gun, I would put a blue nozzle in here, turn it down to 70 PSI, and shoot like 340 with a .2. Shoot under their limit, even if you're playing indoor. And then use .3s, which your joules will go up. That's why you need to be under. Great gun, and I'm sure he's going to have a lot of fun with it. And 35 RPS is just an absolute blast. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next video.